Hey everybody, Daniel here, founder and chief architect at Rhea. In this video, I'm walking you through how we use three different AIs, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, to review, refine, and simplify our SaaS infrastructure plan in real time. You'll see how we turn raw engineering thoughts into a production-ready rollout using a method I call prompt rotation. It's fast, practical, and something any team can start using today. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. This is Daniel, founder and chief architect here at Rhea. And my engineers have put together a truly brilliant plan for how we're going to get stood up a major SaaS application in a week, actually two applications. But one of the things that I always encourage is using AI whenever possible to help clarify thoughts. And I knew they wouldn't mind if we went over some of these things out on the web to teach others how you can use AI to help take you every step of the way, and also bring in a CTO from FAANG to be able to help you out. Here's how it looks. So right here in the engineering channel, we see that Chandler, one of our AI and ML engineers, has put together a plan for how to deploy a system to Amazon Web Services. And while I love the plan, it was a little hard to read. I do the same thing. If I picked one of the things that I'd written to these guys, it would be kind of a mess as well. Engineers were famous for getting our thoughts out before we kind of put them into a bullet framework. So one of the first things I like to do is to be able to take the plan and we'll put it into ChatGPT. Now we've got Rhea here in our system, but I'm not going to use Rhea. I'm going to use ChatGPT because that's what everybody else has. So right now I'm going to open that up and I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and I'm simply going to say clean this up. And when I do that, it's going to take that entire plan and it's going to put it into a format that makes it a little easier for me as a human to synthesize. Bringing an EC2 deployment, connecting to an EC2 instance, deploying to the front end. Front end will have a basic management dashboard once that's stable. And so he's walking me through everything that they're about to do for the next week. And I did ask that they put this together. So I think it's really good because now we've got it broken out in all these different tasks, right? Now, without me even reading all this, I'm going to say something like this: make me an ASCII diagram of each day. ASCII diagram is something that an AI can easily do, which means they're going to basically print out a flow chart. And so here we go: Monday, deploy the cluster, deploy API gateway, front end API adapters, and draft initial schemas. Microservices backend, span microservices. So it's giving me nice little checklists that I can read that are pretty easy. I'm going to say no, an ASCII diagram each day of the infrastructure. So in this case, we should see it actually lay it out like you would be doing a mural board or something like that. Here we go. User browser goes to the API gateway, which goes to EC2, and to Keycloak, which is our system for logging in. We have single sign-on here. And we'll keep going down here, and we're going to see how all these things line up together. And then here we go. Keycloak plugs into a microservice for email. Number two, user browser API gateway, Keycloak, microservices 2, and shared Postgres. So I'm getting a storyboard of how the software is about to be built, right? Which is pretty fantastic. User browser, module 3, module 4, shared Postgres. My mind could easily synthesize as I look at each of these things, be able to double and triple check. There we go. Email service, tax service, Zoom service, and billing service, a shared Postgres. So I really like everything they put together, but here's what I'm going to do now. You are a FAANG level CTO. Take a look at this plan and come up with 5 notes or gotchas. That is where I'm telling ChatGPT, sure enough, hey, I need to start looking at this with a tight lens, right? Hey, you're planning to route API traffic through a central API gateway. This is great for internal testing, but as you add microservices, you'll quickly hit complexity thresholds. Consider using service mesh or GraphQL federation if you're expecting lots of these. I don't personally think we need to do that for an MVP, but it certainly is interesting to see all that, right? And without me even looking at all these things, I'm going to say what level of polish or resilience, and I say, now you're a startup CTO with experience at 2 previous startups that both exited successfully. Reassess. And then tell me at the end what you changed versus FAANG CTO. Different mindset. CTOs are not all built the same at different companies. So we're going to see what comes up with here. The lens changes from optimized for scale and stability to speed, signal, and survivability. The goal is to move fast, learn fast, and not build more than you need, but avoid tech debt traps that break when traction hits. I like that. So now it's come up with this plan right here. And as it's writing that plan, I'm not asking it yet to put it in a table, but I am going to ask it here in just a second. Your Keycloak setup is too ambitious. Start simpler. Yeah, I did agree with that. I didn't think that Kubernetes cluster was necessary for a login system. FAANG CTO says scaling pattern, but startup CTO says keep it monolithic. Strong push for contracts. Favor shared types or basic mocks to stay fast and unblocked. Production grade Kubernetes with operator. Local dark setup or even clerk auth until SSO matters. I'm going to say we already have Argus SSO set up, which is Keycloak. Want to keep that, but agree we don't need Kate's yet. K8S, Kubernetes. All right, so I'm just going to express that viewpoint and see if it comes back with anything. Perfect. If you already have that, stick with it. That's valuable foundation. Updated recommendation based on these steps. Keep Argus, keep your current setup for tokens, ditch the Kubernetes for now. Run Keycloak and Docker Compose or standalone. We've already done that. Very good. Suggested lightweight deployment. So, for everybody who says AI can't, oh, you have to know, be smarter than AI to be able to set this up, I disagree. I think it's done a lot of good work. Now, the problem is that we're relying on ChatGPT alone, and that's not enough. So I'm going to say, write a letter to Claude from ChatGPT. Explain everything that has happened thus far, your changes, each time you made a change, what you think is best, and ask for Claude's input. There we go. So we're going to ask ChatGPT to write a letter to Claude. This is how we generalize AI. I'm having an Irish coffee here at the coffee house on a Sunday. Claude, I wanted to bring you up to speed on our infrastructure rollout. The application that we're building is called Let Me AI That For You, and we're changing the name of it to Artemis Bot. Artemis, Artemis. It is going to allow companies to do AI directly in Slack. They will not have to do it outside of Slack. It's cost optimized. It allows many different models. And if you think about it, every single word that you put into ChatGPT and every single word you get out is intellectual property. It is your intellectual property as a company. And we don't want you to lose any of that, so we're going to allow you to do it in Slack. And that puts the data inside of your database instead of inside of theirs. It's going to be groundbreaking because it will also detect when people are confused or they don't know what to do next. If they ask a boss a question, the AI will pick up on that confusion and be able to help them answer that question without the boss's help. And we think that's pretty awesome too. So let's take this letter and we're going to take this right here and then we're going to go over to Claude and we're going to paste it in. Now let's see what Claude has to say about this particular setup. Hey, I'll help you evaluate the infrastructure plans. Let me address each of your questions and provide my thoughts on the architectural approach. Making the right call, ditching the Kubernetes cluster. For now, I recommend this database architecture. Your approach to using a unified Postgres is pragmatic for your current stage. It avoids premature optimization. A few suggestions. There you go. API gateway strategy, front-end development, Slack onboarding placement, additional recommendations. Great. Write a letter back to ChatGPT. So we just got help from a second AI on how we're supposed to do the first AI's job. Okay. So I'm going to say subject. There you go. Claude is a technical advisor of Bon Voyage. He's a little over his skis on that one. I haven't hired you yet. Okay. Now we put this letter back in, and now I'm going to open up Gemini Studio. We'll scroll over here, scroll all the way down, scroll all the way down. I'm going to pick this link real quick. Let's see, where is it? There's a link down here somewhere. There we go, Google AI Studio. So we're back into ChatGPT. I'm going to say, now write a letter on behalf of the group working this. Address it to Google Gemini 2.5. Ask Gemini to write a letter back with his recommendations. There we go. So we'll go ahead and do that. Got a prompt window that's open right over here. Request for review and recommendations. Dear Gemini, greetings from the Bon Voyage build crew, aka the scrappy team. We're reaching out to elicit your insights. So what I want to make sure is, there we go, Claude is graciously laid in with a thoughtful response. It's shaping our current implementation, where we stand, what we'd love from you. As a distributed genius with roots in scaling planetary level services and organizing Gmail tabs, even AI is trying to be cute, we'd love your opinion. We'd also love to know if you have any of this. We're asking for your take. What would you do differently? There we go. Claude, ChatGPT, and the real humans behind API. There we go. So we'll paste this right here. We'll copy it. We're going to ask Gemini for his opinion on all this. Let's see what we get. Gemini's going to think about the problem as well. This is generalizing the solution, and it is necessary for artificial general intelligence. You can't get artificial general intelligence until you generalize. Using one AI model for everything is a mistake. I'm actually going to be giving a speech in June called Prompt Engineering is BS. And it's going to talk all about how prompt engineering is unnecessary if you just task one AI, write me an NDA, and take it to another AI and say improve it, and take it to another AI and say improve it. And you do something we call prompt rotation. If you see this circle area, you just loop all the way back around. So you have a fantastic solution, and each person has added something to it. There you go. Greetings, Bon Voyage crew. It's Gemini here. Look at that. It's really coming up with a lot of great stuff. What would I do differently? There we go. Manage Postgres sooner. Feel free to reach out. Man, he's so cute. So we'll go ahead and paste this in here. We'll come back over here, paste into ChatGPT, and now we have a letter from Gemini back to the crew. We just asked 3 AIs plus a couple humans to help us out. ASCII Gemini has entered the chat. Let's go ahead and let Gemini write back a response complete with some charm. Gemini's recommendations. Front-end strategy, nailed it. Great trajectory. It's getting cute on us. All right, final word, you're doing great. All right, now write a guide for our engineers, Chandler and Luke, and also show a table of what they wanted to do originally, plus what you 3 AIs think we should do collectively, and then a third column, which is the difference. Document everything as a TL, as a TLDR at the top, then the table, then executive summary, then the full explanation. Sincerely, the 3 AIs, the 3 musketeers. Here we go. Absolutely. Here's a comprehensive guide. You're building something great. Your original objection was strong. After collaborative review with 3 AI minds, we've made minor but important shifts to increase velocity, avoid premature complexity, and leave room for scaling. You're still doing EC2-based deployment, but with practical implementation tweaks. Engineering decision matrix. The original plan, AI adjusted plan. Build front-end adapters, formalize interface sharing and mocking. Centralized API gate. There we go. Pulled routing logic forward to simplify integration. And so on, and so on, and so on. Let me see if I agree with all this stuff. GitHub Actions, add branch-specific deploys. I think that's okay. Tribal memory, create architecture decision record template for each major design. Absolutely agree. Executive summary, engineering friendly. We're embracing your initial stack. The biggest adjustment is cutting Kubernetes. I agree, don't need it. We're formalizing naming patterns, shared interface types, and documenting choices so we don't guess later. Slack onboarding is now just part of the SSO flow, no need for a separate service. Testing is getting pulled forward to Wednesday. I don't know about this one. I'll ask the guys if they agree. Testing is getting pulled forward to Wednesday. Let's catch bugs before they hit Friday. And we're laying in Terraform and Datadog early so we don't pay interest on Infra debt in the month. Full AI council. So it's gone through and done all this stuff and say, sincerely, Claude, your distributed Infra council. And just like that, in 10 minutes, I have put together a system that I can send back to the guys and say, check out this plan and let me know if you agree. Here we go. And that is a plan that my team can take a look at. And because we have AI, they'll be able to look at very quickly. Very quickly. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and take this chat, make sure that we save the link to it so we can always review the conversation. Now, what are we building here in this video? We're building something called Artemis Bot, And no more will we be using ChatGPT as a company. Instead, we'll be doing all of this stuff in Slack. You put in a question, it starts a thread. You can reply. You can talk to any of 5 different AIs when you're talking inside of Slack, and suddenly the information and the conversation becomes part of the body of record for the company. We think this is going to be a hit with customers, and we're ready to bring it to market, probably starting in about a week and a half. Um, this was built on the backbone of our Artemis system for cutting costs in AI, and we think it's going to be something pretty cool. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. All right, that's a wrap. In just a few minutes, we went from raw engineering plan to a clearly defined rollout, validated by 3 AIs and distilled into actionable steps for our team. This is how we move fast at Rhea, blending human insight with AI strategy to reduce tech debt before it happens. If you're not using prompt rotation or cross AI feedback loops yet, start now. Thanks for watching, and feel free to reach out if you want to jam out on this kind of workflow.